Syed is the man there. Silver sponsors, 9 Sports. Ahmed Dar. MyGo Consulting. Seshu. Pro Motion Physical Therapy. Paul. And Sports Niction. Dr. Omar, my good friend from Chicago. And of course, collaborating partner, the incredible ACAC, American Cricket Academy and Club, here in St. Louis, Missouri. Looks like we're almost ready to go. Out in the middle with the players, the umpires looking after today's action, Martin Inamdar from Chicago, and Gov Vasant from Mexico. Both very accomplished umpires. And for the Pacers, Garanshu Sharma out of New Jersey will take strike. First ball drifting into the pads. Looks like it will be a leg by, and it is. Martina Namda signals the scorer, and we're underway here. First of the knockout matches, or the first qualifying final, I should say. We've got 2 qualifying finals this morning, followed by back-to-back semi-finals later today. So left arm over the wicket. Ghulam Madassa. Keeping it nice and tight to the stumps. As I said, it's a very true surface. You don't want to offer any width, because it gives the batters freedom to throw their hands through the ball. Again, looking to target the stumps. That one down the leg side this time, and it will be signalled wide. So a couple of extras in the first few balls here to get the Pacers underway. Of course, with T20 cricket, the first 6 overs, the power play, you're only allowed a couple of players outside of the 30-yard circle. And the Chicago Kings currently deep square leg and a third man, this time on target. So as I say, looking to keep it very close to the stumps, offering no width. No runs off the bat as yet. And the Pacers will be hoping to take advantage of the power play. The outfield, although it's got a thick covering of grass, the ball really does travel. It's very dry here. Another hot day in St. Louis. And this one worked out to the man in the deep on the leg side. It will be just the single. You can see how thick that grass is. But like I say, it's very, very dry, and the ball does travel very fast on this outfield. So we started with 8 teams. We now have 6 remaining. Teams played in 2 groups of 4, with the top 3 going through. This time flicked over the leg side. He's got enough on it, and that will race away. Crosses the rope now, so a boundary to Garanshu Sharma. And he's started well. He is in fact the top run scorer of the tournament so far, I believe. At least he was before yesterday evening's game. I believe he still holds on to that mantle of top run scoring, and the Pacers will be hoping that he can continue his fine form here. That was a nice shot, just drifting into the pads. He just picked it up over a wide mid-on. No chance for the fielder. So yes, 2 groups of 4. The teams that qualified top go straight through automatically to the semi-finals. Or this time going across the right-hander. That's good bowling. First 5 deliveries or 6 deliveries because of the extra one with the wide. Was swinging into the pads. And that one he's pushed a Madassa. And a good hit back after he was taken for 4 down the ground. So the end of the first. Pacers. A sedate start. 7 without loss after 1. So bowling from the far end for the Kings. Number 10 on his back. Oh, and a good start. Just back of a length. Beats the outside edge of Issa. It's Niaz Khan. And the man with the pink shirt, Go Vasant. Pink shirt and the long hair. Umpire from Mexico. Khan continues coming down this time, and oh no, he's smacked the ball right into his partner, Garanchu Sharma. I'm not sure where that's got him, perhaps on the upper arm. He's in a bit of pain here. Issa coming down the pitch to try and get to the ball, has struck it firmly. And Sharma just was not able to get out of the way. I think it might have got him on the bicep, or the tricep perhaps, on his left arm. And that could be very uncomfortable for a little while. Of course, the left arm and the left hand for a right hand batter is arguably the most important. It's the top hand on the handle. It does much of the work. And he does look to be in a bit of pain, but he's going to continue. He's going to fight through it. He won't want to give up the opportunity to bat and score runs for his side in this qualifying final. So Khan to continue. Right arm over the wicket. Oh, and Issa's got himself in a bit of a tangle there. The ball was drifting down the leg side. He's tried to help it round the corner, but the ball's struck him somewhere on the body. I think he was a bit too early through the shot. And another dot ball, so great start by Khan this. 3 dot balls. And it does now look like Garanchu Sharma is walking off. And this could be a big moment in this match. I don't know if he's just going for treatment or if he is retiring hurt, and it does look like he's leaving the field for good. So what a disappointing way for his innings to end. Like I say, the top run scorer so far in this competition, and he's had to walk off. Not dismissed, but struck by a firm on drive from his partner. Got him in the left arm, and he's unable to continue his innings. So a new player strides out to the middle for the Pacers. So the rest of their lineup's going to have to step up in the absence of their top run scorer. Bhavya Mehta is the new player. He'll be at the non-strikers end. Bhavya Mehta, of course, has represented the USA at under 19 level in recent years. The Pacers, of course, are made up of a group of 6 or 7 players from Australia, from Sydney, Australia. Issa Omar being one of those. And this time he does get some bat on it. That's what he was trying to do earlier in the over. Ball drifting down the leg side. He just got enough on it. It races away to the fine leg fence. So Issa Omar gets his first boundary. The score moves on to 11. Just one ball left in the second over. And if you're just joining us, the big news from the middle is that Garanshu Sharma, the leading run scorer of the tournament so far, has had to retire hurt after getting struck by a fierce blow from Issa Omar. And on drive that the non-striker just wasn't able to get out of the way of. Down the leg side again. He's got an even better piece of it this time. And that is the first maximum of the day. 6 runs to end the over, and that gives some momentum to this Pacers innings. And at the end of 2, 17 without loss. And as always with these types of tournaments and events, it takes an army of people to make it work. I've mentioned the umpires out in the middle. Of course, the guys from Studio 7 Chicago bringing us these amazing pictures. We've got Varma doing the scoring. As Madassa will continue left arm over, pushes this wide of the crease. Mehta facing his first ball, unable to catch up with it cleanly. So yeah, going back to what I was saying earlier, 2 groups of 4. The team that finished top after all teams played 3 matches go straight through to this afternoon's semi-finals. And then the second and third qualifying teams from each group are playing in these qualifying finals for the other spot in the semi-final. This time worked away behind square. There'll only be the one as the fielder at square leg does well to chase it down and prevent them from coming back for a second. So Mehta is underway with his first run. So finishing top of the two groups, the Chicago Legends, they topped Group A, so they've gone straight through to this afternoon's semi-final. Driving over the top of the offside, just gets enough on it. It's going to run away towards the boundary. The fielder will drag it back. Fielder wearing a New York Yankees hat. My baseball team. So another couple of runs to Issa. And he's starting to find a bit of form. He looked a bit scratchy early on, struggling to catch up with some of those balls down the leg side, but he's made some solid contact in the last 3 or 4 balls that he's faced. This time zips across the right-hander. Issa suggesting perhaps the umpire could have called that wide, but was clearly inside the tram lines as it passed the batter. So yes, 2 Chicago sides topping the groups. The Chicago Legends topping Group A and the Chicago Incredibles topping Group B. Oh, this time he's found a leading edge and the catch is taken eventually. A bit of a bobble there by the man with number 6 on his back. And just as I was saying, Issa Omar was starting to look better. He mishits one, and that will be the end of his innings. And another man with a New York Yankees cap of the green variety takes the catch. We'll get his name in a second. So they're effectively 2 wickets down now. Saad Ali, in fact, taking the catch. Eventually, after he juggled it a couple of times, ball did go very high, looking to clip it away on the leg side, and it just caught a big leading edge. And Saad Ali at mid-on settled under it and eventually made the dismissal. So 2 new men at the crease for the Pacers now as we have a look at the replay. Yeah, drifting into leg stump. Thought he could flick it away, but he was just a bit too early on the shot. So Madassa strikes. He has his first wicket. And again, pushing it across. The new player, who's Mohammad Talha. At the end of the third, another good over from Madassa. He's got 1 for 9 after 2. The end of a successful second for him. And after 3, Pacers just struggling to get any momentum in their innings. 20 for 1 after 3. So Mohammad Talha, another of these Australians that's made their way over from Sydney as part of this Pacers Academy team. They've been bolstered by 5 or 6 locals. Big shot attempted from Bhavya Mehta, who is one of the locals that's been added to their ranks. Garanchu Sharma, Aman Patel, Parth Patel, a few of the others. The fairly familiar names for those who follow American cricket. Garanchu Sharma has been scoring bucket loads of runs for the best part of a decade around New Jersey and New York and various other tournaments around the country. One of those players who's always been talked about is maybe on the verge of getting a call up to the national side, but he just hasn't quite broken through. And he'll be disappointed, of course, not to be able to bat. We presume that he won't be coming back to bat, although there would be provisions in the playing conditions, I'm sure, for him to come back later if he's able to. But he did look like in a world of pain. Oh, another swing and a miss. This is good bowling by Niaz Khan. Just back of a length. Bhavya Mehta would be better served here just to try and get bat on ball. They just need to start ticking the score over. Far too many dot balls in T20 cricket. Dot balls are priceless for the bowling side. And there's just been far too many for the PACERS so far in their 3.3 overs. This time bat on ball, just runs it down to third man. One of the two fielders in the deep. So Mehta moves on to 2. And the new player, Mohammad Talha, has faced one ball from the other end, will come down and face strike. We'll call this the commentary end, I guess. We're actually off to, we're really sitting at deep square leg currently. Another good tight delivery, Niaz Khan. These two bowlers from the Kings have started well. Both targeting the stumps. If they've erred at all, it's tended to be a little straight. Sometimes just drifting into the pads. Of course, it was one of those deliveries that took the wicket. Coming down this time is Talha, but Khan sees him and pushes it a little bit wide. He's unable to catch up with it, and another dot ball ends the 4th over. 21 for 1. PACERS at the moment. And after winning the toss and choosing to bat, they're really struggling here. Of course, we've seen scores of 180 plus, even 200 plus scored on this very pitch the last couple of days. So they really need to get a move on here to the PACERS if they want to put up a total that's any sort of challenge for the Kings. The Kings themselves chasing down a mammoth 217, I believe it was, and only about 16 and a half overs in one of their earlier matches. And we're going to see our first bowling change. Looks like spin into the attack for the first time. Will be the left arm tweaker, Ashok. Oh, good start. Looking to open up the offside as Mehta is struggling to get bat on ball consistently here. Ashok Sandhu, number 1 on his back. Shorter this time, and he's hit it straight to the man at backward point, and Mehta's innings is over. So the bowling change works straight away. Wasn't a great delivery, you'd have to say. Mehta has played an inaudacious shot, looking to punch it away on the offside, but he got too much elevation. Fielder was stationed there. Really a run-saving position, but it's ended up being a catching position. And the Pacers slide further into the mire here. They're now 2 for 21, halfway through the 5th. And like I said, dot balls, dot balls, dot balls. Let's have a look again. It's really short, and he's just picked out the man. Comfortably taken at knee height. So the Liberty Cup USA 2025, the KAD, or the CAD Liberty Cup 2025. CAD Engineering being the title sponsor. There's Aman Patel, another New Jersey man. Leg spinner. Leg spinning all-rounder from the New Jersey area. Is in at number 5 for the Pacers. And that's a better shot off the back foot, punching it away, and in fact it's going to beat the man in the deep for a boundary. So just a conventional cricket shot, not trying to do anything fancy, and gets the result. So a boundary to get Patel underway, and they're going to need a lot more of those, the Pacers, to put up some sort of a total to challenge the Kings. There's a man in the deep here, possibly could have done a bit better. He got hands to it, but not enough to prevent the boundary. Much straighter this time. So I've been talking about dot balls, and we can see in this over as well, even though he's got the wicket, even though he's gone for the boundary, it's been 4 dot balls and 5, and they'll get a single to end the over as Aman Patel runs straight up the middle of the pitch. Not really what you're supposed to do, but I'm sure if he does it again, the umpires will have a word. At the end of 5, 26 for 2, quarter of the way through the innings, and you'd have to say Chicago Kings will be the happier of the two teams at this stage. So final over of the power play here. It will be another bowling change. Anwar Ali Khan, the man who just took the catch, to dismiss Bhavya Mehta, will bowl his first. Settles straight onto a good line and length. Just gentle medium pace, right arm over the wicket. Drifting down the leg side, and big appeal for LBW, but that was clearly going down. Umpire Govasant agrees with my assessment, shaking his head. Does a bit of pitch maintenance as well in between deliveries. We've got a wonderful view here with the camera almost directly over middle stump. Makes for superb viewing. Again, drifting down. Unable to catch up with it was Patel, but it will be called wide. So the Kings, in the main, have bowled very, very straight. Like I said earlier, if anything, if they've erred, they've tended to err leg side-ish. That's at least the second wide so far. But the straight bowling philosophy has certainly worked. It's been tough for the Pacers to get the ball away. And if they've perhaps erred, it's maybe been trying to play too square, as this time he does look to play straight. And he will get at least a couple here. Didn't get the middle of the bat, but he got enough to get it over the bowler's head for a couple of runs. Down towards the car park at the far end of the ground. So Aman Patel looking to be aggressive. He needs to be, as do all the Pacers batters. This time goes behind square on the leg side, beats the man at backward square, and that will race away for his second boundary. Just a bit too straight on that occasion from Anwar. And like I said at the top, despite a very solid grass covering, this outfield is lightning quick. And the ball has disappeared into the bushes. There's a couple of players. The tournament organizer, Hassan, and the scorer, Varmer, are all now in the bush looking for the ball. While they do that, perhaps I'll try and give you some updates or some information from the tournament so far as we have a look at one of the two excellent electronic scoreboards that are in place here at the ACAC cricket ground. So let's have a look at the points table. Just a reminder. So the Chicago Legends topped Group A. They will go through to the semi-final directly this afternoon, as will the Chicago Incredibles after topping Group B. We currently have the Chicago Kings, who finished second in Group A, against the Pacers, who finished third in Group B. And then on the other field, just to our left, we have the St. Louis Americans, who finished third in Group A against the Michigan Global Sports side, who in an incredible match yesterday evening leapfrogged both the Pacers and the Dallas All-Stars to finish second in Group B. So the Denver Dynamites from Group A and the Dallas All-Stars from Group B are the two teams that were eliminated after the round robin. Two further teams will be eliminated after the matches going on now. And then this afternoon we'll have the two semi-finals to decide the two teams that will go through to tomorrow's grand final. As we have a look at the Pacers dugout there. They'll be a bit nervous about their start. Probably haven't quite got off to the start they would have hoped for. Final over of the power play now. After this over, the Kings will be able to put another bunch of fielders out. Of course, it's always risk reward. You can put them out to prevent the boundary, but that also opens up opportunities for singles. A big shot down the ground this time. Didn't quite time it, but he'll race back for two. Perhaps a chance for a run out there if that ball had been thrown to the keeper's end. But in the end, they make it safely. So Aman Patel looking to inject a bit of momentum into this Pacers innings. He moves on to 13. Last ball of the power play. And it's just defended. So 35 for 2 after 6. The umpire will presumably signal the end of the power play. So you can see there on your screen the run rate to date, 5.83. I'm sure they would have much preferred that to be closer to 7 or 8. That would have been their target. We've seen the Kings chase down a score of 200 plus easily. We saw Michigan chase down a score of 179 yesterday in just 15.5 overs to leapfrog both Dallas and the Pacers on the points table. So I'm sure they're thinking 200, or maybe 190 is a minimum here. So they're going to have to get a move on. As it looks like another bowling change. Hassan, and for his first, again just gentle medium pace. A little bit of outswing. And I'll just get you an update from the other game. Michigan batting first against the St. Louis Americans, the local side. This time a bit shorter, able to punch into the offside for a single. Talha gets his account underway. And you might be able to hear the celebrations, but in fact, they thought an incredible catch had been taken in the deep, but in fact it hadn't been taken. Down the leg side, that will be signalled wide by umpire Martin Inamdar. So on the other field, Michigan batting first partway through the 9th over. They're 37 for 3. So they're also struggling. Runs hard to come by in these morning games, it would seem. Drifting into the leg side, again struggling to catch up with it. They have struggled to play square on this pitch. Perhaps a suggestion that the ball's just not quite coming on as it did yesterday. Perhaps just holding in the wicket a fraction. Oh, and he's really given it the kitchen sink there as Aman Patel beaten all ends up. So this is good from Hassan, and again dot balls. Really the killer for the Pacers here. Targeting 190. Of course, there's many ways to score 190. Again down the leg side, that'll be another extra. We know that T20 is the high octane version of the game, and boundaries and sixes are, you know, the currency of the good T20 players, but you can't neglect the ones and the twos. Like I say, dot balls are the killer. They can convert some of these dot balls into ones and twos, as this time he'll get it away on the leg side. There is a man out there though, but he's let it get past him. So boundary, the third boundary for Aman Patel. He moves on to 17. But you just can't afford all of these dot balls, and they're at least 50% dot balls, I would have thought, so far in this innings. Got to get that somewhere down closer to 25%. Pick up ones and twos in between the occasional boundary. And then once you get your eye in, then you can really launch and look to target. It's the end of another over. 7 gone now. 43 for 2. Pacers having won the toss and chosen to bat first here. And the qualifying final, the winner of this will go through to the semi-final this afternoon. And on the other field, it is Michigan batting first against the St. Louis Americans. They are now 41 for 3 after 9. Direct hit this time, but the batter was well home. And that's good cricket by the two batters there. Just when I was saying they need to start looking to pick up the singles, that's exactly what they did. Just put a little bit more pressure back onto the bowling side. The odd boundary just does not create the pressure. But if they're getting singles and twos with ease in between, that pressure will ramp up. Again, nicely played away behind square, and in fact that'll run away to the fence. Just a lovely controlled shot by Mohamed Talha. That's his first boundary. The man from Sydney looking to form a partnership with Aman Patel out of New Jersey. Of course, the Liberty Cup USA 2025. Oh, good ball this time. That zipped through the surface. So you are watching these pictures courtesy of Studio 7 Chicago. KAD Engineering, the title sponsor of this event, so we thank them very much for their support. Platinum sponsor Live Wellness Lounge, Dr. Husnain Syed. And the silver sponsors, 9 Sports, MyGo Consulting, ProMotion Physical Therapy, and Sports Nection. And of course this all made possible by their collaborating partner, the American Cricket Academy and Club, ACAC, who have built this incredible facility and, might I say, a quite incredible community that have come together around this facility. AJ Jam and his people are a real blessing to this community. We saw last night, July the 4th. Happy 4th to everyone tuning in. They put on a massive fireworks display last night at the ground after the final match of the day, and there were people from all over the community sitting on the grass banks watching the fireworks. As this time he gets the wicket, I think. Certainly appeared to edge it, and yes, Aman Patel will have to stride off. Hung around for a while, just created a bit of confusion, but quite clearly a nick through to the keeper, and the third wicket goes down, and Aman Patel, whose innings was promising, is cut short at 19. So a wicket for Anwar Ali, his first. That's the end of his second and the end of the eighth. 49 for 3, the Pacers. So the Liberty Cup, of course, it's been in existence since 2017. Started in Chicago and has now migrated to St. Louis. And great to see a number of the players that played all the way back in 2017 are also here in 2025. Of course, two of those names from Chicago. Incredible servants of Chicago and USA cricket. The likes of Fahad Babar, Shahir Hassan, Shuja Naqvi, Farhan Ali. Absolute stalwarts of American cricket. As the Pacers bring up their 50 in the 9th over. Amir Shahzad is the new player, joining Talha in the middle. Shahzad, another one of the players from Sydney. Oh, this time wide of the off stump. It's going to be called wide. Asif Mahmood in for his first over. Just a bit of concern about the bowler's footmarks there, or the bowler's landing area. Of course, this pitch has had a lot of use over the last few days. And the ground staff have done an incredible job to bring the pitch up after each day's play. In fact, after each match, doing the maintenance, adding clay, rolling, watering. This will be another wide, this time swinging away outside the off stump. You can see that exaggerated movement. Mahmood able to get there. So yes, the ground staff here, and in fact ground staff all over the country, who host tournaments of this nature with multiple matches in a day, they have to do an awful lot of work to keep the pitches in playing condition. Coming around the, around the wicket this time, right on line. But Shahzad squirts it away on the offside for a single. In fact, it was Talha. Shahzad on strike now. Outside edge will race away down to the man. That third man for another single. So yes, Liberty Cup has been around since 2017, and that edition in 2017. Some of the players that played in that tournament, sure you'll recognise some of the names. Stephen Taylor, Sunny Sahal, Nicholas Puran, Akeem Dodson, Akil Hussain, this time the uppercut. Oh, what a catch! What a catch! That is a ripper out in the deep. I'm sure the batter thought there's a chance this is going to go to the fence. At worst, probably going to get a couple of runs, but the man at third man has raced around the boundary and pulled off an absolute specky. Let's have a look at the replay. Short, nicely played shot. Oh, that's brilliant piece of work. You can't see it from that angle, but he's actually had to reach out quite a long way in front of him. I'll get you that player's name. It was the bowler from the other end, Hassan. So he's bowled an over. Pretty decent over as well. And then his partner's bowled from the other end. Superb piece of work in the deep to take the catch and give his partner a wicket. So the Pacers sliding further. They're 4 down now, and of course it's effectively 5 down because their opening batter and most effective batter to date in the competition retired hurt in the second over after getting struck by a powerful on drive by his then batting partner. We're not sure if he's going to play any further part in this match. So Azan Saeed is the new man, joining Muhammad Talha. And I believe it's an all-Sydney partnership out in the middle at the moment. So the Aussies doing battle against the team from Chicago. And 9 overs gone now. And Chicago well on top. 55 for 4 are the Pacers. Of course, to make matters worse, they won the toss and elected to bat first. And you can guarantee that they would have wanted to be in a very different position to the one they find themselves in now. Sure, they would have been targeting 180 plus, batting first. And an update from the other grounds. 11.5 overs gone. Michigan 71 for 4. So they're also struggling. They've just lost their 4th wicket. Ujwal Vinakora taking his first in his first over. So another hot day here. coming down this time, getting a fair chunk of it, but there's a man stationed in the deep. Flew away off the outside edge, and they race back for 2. That's good running. So they're trying, these Pacers players, to score with some freedom, but a combination of perhaps a slightly sluggish deck and some good tight bowling from the Chicago Kings means they've just been unable to really loosen the shackles. And we've seen this all innings from the Kings. They've bowled very, very straight. Occasionally they've drifted into the pads, but it hasn't cost them too much. This time, ball on leg stump just worked away for a single. So are we going to see some Aussie magic? There's 2 players in the middle and another 4 or 5 of their teammates hailing from Sydney, Australia. Again, drifting down the leg side. This time it will be a wide. Umpire Gov Vasant. Gov Vasant, a great story as to how he is with us here. Chirag Vaswani, one of the umpires in the other game. As this time will be runs, just the single into the offside. Man at deep point cuts it off. Yeah, Chirag Vaswani stood in some international fixtures in Mexico with Go Vasant, and they became friends, and he was impressed with Vasant, and so invited him to come to this tournament. So not only do we have international flavour with the players, as this one's going to run away to the fence. We'll have to wait and see if there was any bat, and there wasn't. It is in fact byes. So a short ball beats everyone, including the keeper, and it runs away for 4 byes. Keeper perhaps could have done a little better there. Slightly mistiming his jump. Let's have a look at the replay. It's hard to tell. In fact, it may have cleared him with some ease. It was just out of shot. So yes, umpire Go Vasant, Mexican umpire. We've got obviously players who come from all over the country and all over the world, with some from Sydney, Australia. Just adding to what is quite a superb event, the Liberty Cup 2025. As we've reached the halfway stage of the first innings. 65 for 4, the Pacers batting first after having won the toss. Chicago Kings will be the much happier of the 2 so far. So Ashok Sandhu back for his second spell. He just bowled 1 over at the top in the power play. The only spinner in this Kings lineup so far. Lovely looking left arm orthodox action. Getting through his over quickly, 4 dots to begin the 11th. I know I've been harping on about it, but the number of dot balls has been absolutely brutal for the Pacers. It's not always about hitting boundaries and hitting sixes. It's about batting efficiency. Oh, this time he'll get a wicket. Yeah, stumped down the leg side. Good piece of work from the keeper. Talha just looking to advance. 5 dot balls in a row. He had to try something different. He's tried to come down at Sandhu. Perhaps he saw him coming and just slid it down the leg side. And a very slick piece of work by the man behind the stumps. Let's have a look at the replay. In fact, he didn't come down. He's just overbalanced. Yeah, caught well short. Great piece of work by the keeper. Abdur Rahman, the man with the gloves, had the bails off in a flash. And an easy decision for umpire Go Vasant, who was standing at square leg. That's a wicket maiden for Ashok Sandhu. It's got quite incredible figures, really. 2 overs, 1 maiden, 2 for 5. It's test match figures, really. And the Pacers, well, they're not making much of a game of it as it currently stands. Parth Patel, another one of the young US-based players from the Midwest region. He'll come down now to face his first ball. Parth Patel, from memory, was the first US player to score a double 100 at the under-15 nationals a couple of years back in Houston. He faces his first ball, and good delivery by Asif Mahmood. Let's have another look at that stumping. Yeah, superb piece of work. Anyone who's done any keeping of any note will know how difficult it is to take those balls down the leg side, because you're completely unsighted for a moment. You're really almost guessing where you need your gloves to be. It's often all about the footwork to give your hands a chance to get into the right position. And Abdur Rahman has done it perfectly there. He's got his feet in the right position. His hands are ready and waiting. And he's been able to whip the bails off as he's seen the batsman overbalance. Short outside off, and Azan unable to catch up with it. So the Kings bowlers continuing to cause problems. Suggestions that the surface perhaps not playing quite as consistently as it did yesterday. Looks to be maybe just holding a fraction in the surface. This time picked up on the leg side. There's a man there and he swallows the chance. So another wicket goes down. Another PACERS batter comes and goes without causing too much damage. Azam Syed, just 1 run off 6 deliveries. And Asif Mahmood will have his second wicket. So just drifting into the pads, clipped it quite nicely, but they've got a man stationed there. Comfortable catch. And it's a relatively steady stream of batters coming and going at the moment. 6 down now, although as I've mentioned a couple of times, it's really 7 down with the retirement of Garanshu Sharma. Garanshu Sharma, the leading run scorer of the tournament. Let's have a look at those run scoring charts. So yeah, Sharma leading the way with 177 runs in his 4 innings to date, averaging a tick under 60, strike rate of 180. In second place from the Chicago Incredibles, Noman Anwar, 136 at a strike rate of 272. Not bad going, that. And Muhammad Zaid Alam from the Chicago Legends, also with 136, currently sitting in 3rd place. Let's have a look at the bowling records. Mahmood will continue to the new player, and that one will be wide. So as in fact Asif Mahmood in operation at the moment, equal top wicket taker with 8, along with Sadaf Hussain from the Chicago Legends, who also has 8. And then there's another 3 players with 7 wickets thus far in the tournament. So the over comes to an end, another successful one. And Mahmood, 8 for 2. Again, incredible figures really in the context of a T20 match and in the context of the sort of scores that we've seen so far in the tournament. And apologies, I think I've been saying since the start of the day that it was the Chicago Kings that chased down the big score yesterday. I think it was 217 odd, but it was of course the Chicago Incredibles that chased down that score. A number of teams from Chicago. With all of this heat, my brain occasionally gets them mixed up. So yeah, courtesy of that incredible innings from Noman Anwar, it was the Chicago Incredibles that chased down 217 on this very field. So Sandhu will continue looking to add to his 2 wickets. Parth Patel, up and coming young player in the US, an opportunity perhaps here to show what he's capable of. Drew, oh gee, bit of turn there. Lovely delivery. Turn and bounce past the outside edge. The other player at the other end, Dhruvan Kiran, another young player. From the States. Oh, big shot down the ground. Has he got enough of it? He has. It's cleared the rope. The man at long on coming around. Perhaps suggestions. He could have attempted to take the catch there, but he's just watched it go over the rope. It's a replay of the last wicket. And Parth Patel with a big shot down the ground. Just the second maximum of the innings. But again, have a look at that. The ball by ball on the right hand side of your screen there. Dot, dot, 6. Yes, the 6 is great. You need those boundaries. But you can't be having dot balls in between. 1-1-6 would be so much better this time. Again, another dot. The 6 is meaningless if you can't score off the other balls. This has been the downfall of the Pacers innings. Aside from losing those 6 wickets, it's just been their inability to turn the strike over consistently. This time they will get a single as man at cover can't stop the ball. So just one ball left in the 13th over, and despite the big shot down the ground, only 7 runs coming from 5 balls. I know I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but I am passionate about some of these things. And another dot to finish. What was another pretty tidy over. Let's have a look. Well, we're having a look at the replay of the 6 being signalled by Martin Namdar. So 13 overs gone, 75 for 6, and this time we will have a look at that shot down the ground. Hit it dead straight. And the player was right there. Perhaps he was closer to it than he thought. He's just watched it go over his head in the end. They'll need plenty more of those if they want to push up past 120 here. Current run rate 5.7. They need to try and get that up towards 7.5 by the end of this innings to at least have some sort of a chance. But these 2 bowlers in operation at the moment done a superb job. All the bowlers have really, but it's been these 2 that have been the chief destroyers with 2 wickets apiece. Ashok Sandhu with his left arm orthodox tweakers. He's got 2 for 12 off 3, and Asif Mahmood at the start of his third, 2 for 8. Dear. Parth Patel looking to get himself room, give himself room, and all he's done is got himself into a position where he couldn't reach the ball. Just had to watch it go through to the keeper for yet another dot ball. 2 more dot balls to start this over. This time a single to backward square. And that's the name of the game really for the Pacers from here on in. Bat on ball, gentlemen. Bat on ball. Kieran will get his score underway. Just laying the ball off down to third man. So we'll try and find the information as to which team the winner of this will play against in the semi-final. The winners of the two games going on at the moment will advance to the semis. The other two teams' tournaments will be over. And awaiting the winners of these games are the teams that top the groups. The two Chicago-based sides. This time, another chance in the deep. Oh, and it's put down. So the out cricket by the Kings has been very, very good up until that moment. And man with number 7 on his back made good ground to his right to get under the ball and shelled it. Regulation catch, you would have to say. Let's have a look at the replay. Did well to catch up with it. Got his hands there and just put it down. So not a great piece of fielding. But the Pacers will be happy. Parth Patel it was, gets a life. So yes, the Chicago Legends and the Chicago Incredibles, by virtue of finishing top of their groups, have gone through directly to the semi-finals. The winners of the two matches going on currently will meet them in the semi-finals later today. One of the sides will have to play almost immediately following the conclusion of these matches. So Sandhu to bowl out here. It's been a great spell. 4 balls remaining, only conceding 13 runs so far. 6 of those, of course, that one big shot down the ground by Patel in his last over. And for some reason, they're not even taking the singles on offer. This stage of the innings, you've got to be running for those. Just laying it off to the man close to the edge of the circle. This time they do go. Run is easily completed, as it should have been the ball before. Patel moves on to 11, the score to 80. This time giving himself room, and that's a good shot. Picked his spot over the offside field. Does Kieran. In fact, that is Parth Patel on strike. It was Kieran who got the single the ball before. So gives himself room and just slapped it over the offside field, wide of the man at cover sweeper. Patel needs to try and bat to the end here. Oh, that's a good shout. And he's been given. Step right across his stumps. Looking to access the leg side. But he's missed a straight one. And umpire Martin Inamdar had no hesitation in raising the finger. And just as I was saying, Patel has to stay to the end. He gets out. Perhaps the commentator's curse. And yeah, that's pretty easy decision, hitting him right in line with off stump, probably hitting middle and off 2/3 of the way up. So as decisions go, that was probably one of the easier ones Inamda will have to make today. And the end of a superb spell, and another wicket for Sandhu. He finishes with 18 for 3 from his 4. Great exhibition of left-arm orthodox spin bowling. He has been the only spin bowler for the Kings today. And the PACERS 84 for 7. Not sure how much more batting they've got left in the shed. Kieran, young player, has been out there for 5 deliveries, and he's been joined now by Ibrahim Khan. Another of the players from Sydney. He's primarily a left-arm seamer. Have to see how much he offers with the bat. So Dhruvan Kiran will take strike as Niaz Khan comes back for his second spell. And again, settles straight onto a good line and length, just back of a length on this occasion. All Kieran can do is block it. 4, you guessed it, another dot ball. So happy 4th of July weekend to everyone watching. I'm sure many of you watched some sort of a fireworks display yesterday evening. Some incredible displays all around the country, not least of all here in St. Louis, and not least of all right here at ACAC Cricket Ground, where the team put on a superb display of fireworks for the local community. 70 or 80 folks from the community who probably know nothing about the game of cricket, but came to sit on the grass bank below the car park to watch the fireworks. And by all accounts, this cricket club and academy are a real blessing to this local community. Fireworks, not the only thing they've done to help out. Of course, the motto for the academy: character, community, and cricket. Very big on contributing to their local community and social good projects, taking some of the young kids out from the academy to serve in the local food banks and help those less privileged than themselves. Superb initiative from AJ Jam and his team. But for now, we're here for the Liberty Cup USA 2025. Beamed live all around the world, courtesy of Studio 7 Chicago. Thanks to CAD Engineering, being the title sponsor. And just struggling to get bat on ball are the Pacers. The Aussies really struggling out there. And Niaz Khan, another very good over. Just the 1 run coming from the 16th over. Just 4 remaining now, and the Pacers 85 for 7. So both opening bowlers back for their second spells. Madasa, left arm over the wicket. Taken for a single out to deep point, his first delivery. I'm assuming both of them will bowl out from here. They've been pretty disciplined, have the Kings. Yes, they've erred occasionally down the leg side. Conceded a few wides here and there, but they've really targeted the stumps right from the start. And it's meant the Pacers have just really struggled to get the ball away with any consistency. As we see again, bowling at the batsman, looking to give himself a little bit of room, was Ibrahim Khan. He's faced 4 or 5 deliveries now and yet to get off the mark. Again, swing and a miss, and again, just bowling straight. Not only has it a good plan for this surface against this side, but it's been very well executed. It's one thing to have a plan. It's another thing to be able to execute on it. And the Kings have done very well in that regard. Oh, this time perhaps looking for a variation. And it's slipped out of the hand. Suggestions that maybe it could have been called no ball, but I think it was probably at or just below waist height. So no damage done. Another dot ball. And action replay from the ball before. Swing and a miss. Khan yet to get off the mark. And another over with just a solitary single. Pacers 86 for 7. 3 remaining. Short outside off stump. Dhruvan Kirana unable to catch up with it. That is both looking to give themselves a little bit of room outside leg stump. It means those balls that are a little bit wider of off, they're just struggling to catch up with. This time bat on ball, but they'll just get the single. Man in the deep makes a hash of it, but they weren't pushing for 2, so no damage done. So it's a jam-packed schedule from here on out. qualifying games happening right now, followed immediately by the first semi-final, followed immediately by the second semi-final. This time wide of the off stump. Started wide, swung away even wider. Was well inside the tram lines though, so despite the batsman suggesting it might have been too wide, it wasn't. So yet another dot ball. Yes, the final will be tomorrow morning, Sunday morning. So we await the results of 4 other games to see who will be participating in that final. Just off the toe of the bat down to third man. And Ibrahim Khan is finally off the mark. Took him 9 deliveries. Ibby, as it says on the back of his shirt. Superb uniforms provided by 9 Sports. Another good delivery, beating the bat of Dhruvan Kiran. A little bit shorter than some of the other bowlers is Niaz Khan. Just back of a length. When he has pitched it up, he's got quite a bit of movement. As we see there, same result. Dot ball, another 4 in that over, just the 2 singles. Only 2 overs remaining. And the PACERS 88 for 7. They'll be lucky if they break 100. And I'm sure the Chicago Kings will be very, very confident they can chase that down in the second innings. So while we're waiting for the start of the penultimate over, just a big shout out to Hassan Dastagir, the big boss behind this event. Superb effort to pull this together as he does every year. Not only very good at what he does, but a superb human to boot. Always willing to muck in and help get whatever needs to be done. Was kind enough to pick me up from the airport the other night and drop me off at my hotel at close to midnight. Not sure there's too many league owners that would be willing to do that for a lowly commentator like myself. And of course a huge shout out to Umair Khan and his crew for bringing us these superb pictures. Incredibly lucky to have a production crew that does international ICC level events all over the world. And here they are doing it, and doing it so well. in St. Louis, Missouri for the Liberty Cup 2025. So just 9 deliveries left now. The PACERS limping along towards a target that may approach 100. And this could be a boundary, the first one in a while, and it is. Just over pitching on this occasion was Madassa. And Dhruvan Kiran just leaning on it, but picking the gap in the offside. The ball raced away. Just a full toss. Easy pickings. So they move into the 90s now. Dhruvan up to 9. And again, continuing with that. It's really a line targeting the body of the batters. And they just haven't been able to flick it away. We've seen a number of leading edges. Of course, the first actual wicket to fall was a leading edge that spooned up to the man at mid-on. We've seen on a number of other occasions balls into the body or into the pads, and the batters have just really struggled to get them away with any consistency. Coming around the wicket now, another full toss, and this should be another boundary, and it is, this time backward of the man at deep point. So a couple of over-pitched deliveries able to be gotten away to the boundary to finish Ghulam Madassa's spell, and that spoils his figures somewhat. He had been pretty miserly up to that point. He finishes with 19 for 1 off his 4. And barring a disastrous final over, the PACERS should get beyond 100. 97 for 7 with 6 deliveries to come. So Asif Mahmood, who's been superb to bowl the final over, starts with a dot ball, short one that Ibrahim Khan, who's really struggled to get bat on ball from the start of his innings, misses through to the keeper. Keeper's been very good. Work down the ground for a single on this occasion. Brings Dhruvan Kiran on strike. He probably needs to try and face the 4 remaining balls. He seems to be the far more capable batter of the 2. He has 13 from 17. A couple of boundaries in the last over. Ibrahim Khan just 3 singles from his 14 balls faced. Slower ball this time. And just another single. So not the result Kiran would have wanted. And for Ibrahim Khan, he may as well throw everything at it here. At this point, it's really a boundary or a single to get Dhruvan back on strike or get out. And he's got the single. Probably the best result at this point, and that does bring up the 100. So they've made it to 100. They'll be a little more pleased that they managed to reach 3 figures. At one stage a few overs ago, looked like they might struggle to get beyond 90. And another slower ball, cleverly bowled. Dhruvan Kieran unable to catch up with it. And another dot ball means that with 1 ball remaining in the innings, the most that the Kings will be chasing from here will be 107. If Dhruvan Kieran can clear the ropes on this final ball of the innings. Another slow one, another swing and a miss. They don't bother trying to get the bye, which they probably should have. And the score will end at exactly 100. 100 for 7, although effectively 100 for 8, with Garanshu Sharma never returning after he retired hurt early. And in 10 or so minutes' time, the Chicago Kings, they will need 101 to advance to the semi-finals. At this stage, you'd have to say they are heavy favourites to do that. We'll be back in 10 minutes with the chase. Just repeating, PACERS, after having won the toss, electing to bat first, and that's a relatively sad-looking scorecard. Top scorer, Aman Patel, 19 of 16. 4 other players getting into double figures, but no one really getting going. Only Aman Patel and Omar at the top, batting at more than a run a ball. So a real struggle for the PACERS in compiling that 100. Run rate of just 5 on a pitch where we've seen scores in excess of 200. And for the Kings, well, they've all bowled well. Let's have a look at that bowling chart. Yeah, the 2 main destroyers, Sandhu with his left arm orthodox, 3 for 18. He was superb. And Mahmood, 2 for 14. So there we have it. The Kings will need 101 from their 20 overs, 120 balls at just above 5 and over. We'll be back shortly with the chase. We'll see you then. Welcome back. We're here for the chase. Chicago Kings in pursuit of 101 for victory. And Abraham Khan, the off spinner, to begin things for the Pacers. Abraham Khan, who struggled mightily with the bat towards the back end of the innings for the Pacers. But he's not picked for his batting. He's got a job to do here with the ball. Drifting into the pads. And Ramiz Raja Jr. will get his account underway. Ahmad Alam, the other batter for the Chicago Kings. And the Kings, well, they'll be pretty happy with their work in the first innings, restricting the Pacers to just 100. We've seen on this pitch and on this field scores well in excess of 200. Big shot this time, and that'll be the first boundary. One bounce over long off. Of course, we're in the power play, the first 6 overs, which means only 2 fielders allowed outside the 30-yard circle. As it currently stands, we've got one stationed at deep mid-wicket and the other at long on. So a drive over mid-off was always going to be safe as long as he got enough on it. And he did just that. Ramiz Raja. Though there is an issue with the scoring here, because that's not the first scoring, despite what it says on screen. There was a single. There was a single before this ball. So 5 without loss, and as is so often the case here, the ball has gone into the bushes and they're searching for it. So perhaps while we wait, just a quick recap of the first innings. Scoring 100 for 7, the Pacers. And unfortunately for them, the first man to leave the batting crease, not courtesy of a wicket, but courtesy of being injured, Garanchu Sharma, who's the leading run scorer in the tournament. As things resume, they've found the ball. He was struck on the forearm by a powerful shot from his batting partner, Issa Omar. It looked like he was going to continue, but he wasn't able to face another delivery, and he walked off the field. And there's a short ball pulled into the deep, and that's going to be the first maximum. Umpire Martin Inamdar, raises both arms to signal 6. So Chicago Kings wasting no time in their pursuit of 100 for victory, and of course victory will get them a spot in this afternoon's semi-final. We await news of which of the other 2 Chicago sides the winner of this match will meet in that semi-final. Yeah, just rocking back, pulling it over backward square leg. Easy shot really. It was a long hop from Khan. So yes, the Pacers, they won the toss, decided to bat. Lost Garanchu Sharma early to injury. He's actually headed off to hospital to check on that forearm to see if it's broken. His opening partner, Omar, was the next to go for 13. Bhavya Mehta came and went pretty quickly for 2. Mohammad Talha got 12. Aman Patel, the top scorer, with 19 from 16. Amir Shahzad just 1. Azan Syed just 1. Parth Patel, the young USA player, 15. Dhruvan Kiran, another young USA player, was left not out on 14. And Ibrahim Khan, who's in the middle of his over, was also not out for 4. 15 extras, a total of 100 for 7, and it was really tough going. The Chicago Kings bowlers, who employed a strategy of really just bowling stump to stump, they were superb. As Khan chipped into the onside this time, and a misfield will allow the Kings to cross for another single. And at the end of the first over, 12 without loss, well ahead of the asking rate, which was just a tick over 5 at the start of the innings. It's already dropped down to 4.68. So yeah, just quickly, the bowling figures from the first innings. Madasa with his left arm over the wicket seamers. He finished with 1 for 19. Got hit for a couple of 4s in his last over, but still a pretty good return for him. Niaz Khan, his opening partner, none for 14 from his 4. And probably the star of the show, Ashok Sandhu with his left arm orthodox, 3 for 18. Anwar Ali Khan, 1 for 21 from 3. Hassan Mohsin, none for 8 from his solitary over. And Asif Mahmood, to my mind, the other pick of the bowlers, 2 for 14 from his 4. So left arm over the wicket now. Sorry, this is Ibrahim Khan. So, of course, it was Parth Patel who opened with his off-spinners. This is Ibrahim Khan. Ibby, as he's affectionately known, from Sydney, Australia. Drifting into the pads. And he's got himself a wicket. Just chipped up to mid-on. The catch gleefully accepted by the man there. And Ramiz Raja will have to go. Just mistiming a straight one. Looking to go over the top. And it's brought about his downfall. So that's what they need to do. The Pacers, if they're going to defend this total, they need to take wickets. And they really need to take them in bunches. So just a simple dismissal, really. Just didn't time it. In fact, it may be Ahmad Alam who's out. Just have to confirm which batter, in fact, was on strike. Either way, it's the first wicket for the Pacers. They need 9 more. I don't think realistically they're going to be able to prevent the Kings from chasing down the runs without getting them all out. So their target really is 9 more wickets from here. They've got the first. They'll be happy with that. But they need plenty more. New player, new batter to the middle. Left-hander taking guard. So Ibrahim Khan, good start for him. And a well-taken single by the new man. That's what the Pacers were unable to do in the first innings, just tick the strike over with singles in between the boundaries. And it really was just a parade of dot balls in between the occasional boundary and the wickets, meaning they just were unable to get any momentum into their innings. Oh, this time short ball. Just getting under it is Saad. Saad Ali. And it was just confirmation now that it was Ahmad Alam, the man dismissed. So Ramiz Raja Jr. still there, and Saad Ali, the new player. So, Liberty Cup 2025. Been going since 2017. Stepping out this time. He gets enough of it to get the ball through mid-wicket. Ramiz Raja with his first boundary. Good use of the feet on that occasion, showing some aggression. Sure, they don't want to muck around with this target. They want to knock it off in quick fashion, I'd imagine. And more shots like that, it will be over in a hurry. Of course, target of 101. Well below par, one would have thought. Even though perhaps this pitch not playing quite as well as it did at times yesterday, I still think 160 plus was a bare minimum to have a chance against the Kings. So 2 overs gone now, 17 for 1. That required rate below 5. And we'll give you updates from the other game as well throughout this over. Change of bowler immediately after Path Patel got taken for 11 runs or 12 runs in his first. Issa Omar comes in to bowl his little medium paces. So just a reminder that the 2 games going on right now, the qualifying finals, the winner of these games will go on to play semi-finals later today. Big shot into the offside. And in fact, it's gone all the way. Looked like he had mishit it initially, and the man at third man or deep backward point may have a chance to get around and take the catch, but he's just watched the ball sail over the rope. Let's have a look at the replay. Wide outside off, just clipped it away. And yeah, it's cleared the rope with ease in the end. So another 6 runs. And he'll follow that up with a well-taken single into the offside. So Saad Ali looking to get on with things. So yes, winner of this match will go through to the semi-finals. And there's another qualifying final happening on the ground to the left of us. Michigan against the St. Louis Americans. Michigan batting first. They scored 125 for 9. So the St. Louis Americans need 126 for victory there, and they've started very well. They're 39 without loss partway through the 4th over. St. Louis Americans, of course, the local side. So all of the folk here watching the cricket will be hoping their team There's another powerful shot into the onside. Will cross the boundary rope for 4. Just too short by Omar. Really a long hop. It was easy pickings. Still inside the power play. Yeah, short. Got into position early and just muscled it through square leg. Far too easy. So the Kings ticking along nicely. 28 for 1 with just 1 delivery left in the third. So yes, St. Louis Americans, the local team, featuring Arnav Jam, son of AJ Jam, who's the big boss man around these parts. Man who started this whole venture. The ACAC, American Cricket Academy and Club. This very nice facility that they've built. 2 fields side by side with an artificial net structure in the middle with 4 lanes for practice. And a big steel pavilion that we're stationed underneath for shade, and great viewing of both grounds from this vantage point. And the pitches, interestingly, of the hybrid variety. So as you look there, they look like natural turf, but they're a hybrid mixture of artificial grass. Is a beautiful shot played here, just standing tall, caressing it through the covers. It's a lovely cricket shot by Ramiz Raja. And another boundary to end the third. This one's certainly worth a replay. Yeah. Just beautifully balanced, keeping the head nice and still, and although his foot didn't go out to the line of the ball, if you're able to keep that head still, it just means that you get a much better chance of making solid contact with the ball. And he did exactly that and blasted it away through the covers. So they've really struggled from that end to contain the scoring. 11 runs off the first over. 12 runs, I should say, from Parth Patel. They replaced him immediately, brought on Issa Omar, and he's now been taken for 15. Meanwhile, at the other end, Ibrahim Khan, 1 for 5. He's certainly doing the job, and he'll continue now. Oh, beautiful delivery. Classical left armers outswinger. Saad Ali feeling for the ball, finding nothing but fresh air. So the St. Louis Americans on the other field, they're 46 without loss now. Back cut this time. Another boundary. So the runs flowing freely from the blades of the Chicago Kings batters. Up to 36 already, just at the start of the 4th over. That rate required's already dropped below 4. So we could be in for an early finish in both games, perhaps. There's that sign there, which I spent some time setting up earlier, has just taken a beating. My efforts apparently wasted, as a misfield may produce another boundary, and it does. Well, they can well afford those. Poor bit of cricket by the man at point. Let's just let the ball go through his legs. Let's have a look at the replay. Yeah. Oh dear. Yes, it took a slightly nasty bounce, but you got to get something behind that. That should have been a dot ball. Slower delivery on this occasion. So 40 already. Just 61 further needed from 98 balls. Could be a race between the Kings and the St. Louis Americans to see who can chase down their target the quickest. 47 without loss, the Americans at the end of 4. And that'll be another boundary. And it is. Into the Kings dugout. Just too much width on that occasion. Saad Ali able to free the arms, and as we have a look at the replay, slapped it away behind point. Fielder had no chance on that occasion. So to defend 100, everything had to really go perfectly for the Pacers. Simply hasn't started that way. They've bowled 2 lengths, either too short or too full. They've offered width. And to make matters worse, there have been a couple of misfields, as this one will be another boundary, this time backward a square on the leg side. Just clipping it off his pads. Meat and drink to a good player like Saad Ali. He takes 4 boundaries from Ibrahim Khan's second over. After 48 for 1, the Kings. And just drifting into the pads. Too easy. Of course, we're still inside the power play. So only 2 players allowed out in the deep to try and prevent some of those boundaries. And to date, the Kings have had no problems finding the gaps in the deep. And another bowling change. Mohammad Talha on for his first over. So barring anything disastrous from the Kings, or one of the all-time great performances by one of the Pacers, it looks very much like the Kings are going to cruise through to the semi-finals. And as if to underscore my point, we see another boundary. And that will take them past 50 already. First delivery of the 5th over. Again, drifting into the pads, it's just too easy. Five boundaries in the last 6 deliveries. Wide outside the off stump this time. Lucky to get away with it. Raja will feel like he missed out there. Tugged down to long on. Should just be the single. So the Chicago Legends and the Chicago Incredibles await the winners of these 2 matches, courtesy of finishing top of Group A and Group B respectively. They advance directly to the semi-finals. Big shot. And he hasn't quite got enough, but the fielder in the deep has put down a simple catch. Dear oh dear, it's going from bad to worse for the Pacers. Saad Ali, who's, well, just about everything's come right out of the middle of the bat, finally missed times one. offering a simple chance down at long on, and it's shelled. So he gets another single. Wide outside off again. Oh, perhaps slightly rough call there from Martin Inamdar. Maybe he wants this game to finish in a hurry also. Personally thought that was a decent piece of bowling from Talha. The ball before was also wide outside off stump, wide and full and slower, tempting Saad Ali into a big shot. He's repeated it here, but the umpire's called it wide, and that's a bit closer. And Ramiz Raja says, thank you very much. Deposits another one into the bushes. I'm sure we'll have another short delay while we search for the ball. Yeah. Just on that perfect line, about a foot outside off stump. Allowing the right-hand batter to free his arms. And he just pumped it over long on for another 6. Just 40 required now from 91 deliveries. In the other game, St. Louis Americans continuing along nicely. They're 58 without loss. In fact, 62 without loss now after 5.4 overs. So they need just a further 64 runs off 86 balls with all 10 wickets remaining. So like I say, it's really a race between these two sides to see who's going to finish off their chase the quickest. Talha trying to get out of this over. He's going to get pumped over the onside again. Will it be 4 or 6? It's another 6. So back-to-back sixes to end Mohammad Talha's first over. One he'd like to forget, I'm sure. Of course, the chance went down at the end of 5, 67 for 1. So the Liberty Cup USA 2025, title sponsor CAD Engineering, the CAD Liberty Cup 2025. Thanks to CAD Engineering for their support. Of course, without all these sponsors and supporters, events like this just so much more difficult to put on. So we thank CAD Engineering very much. The other sponsors as well. Platinum sponsor Live Wellness Lounge, Dr. Husnain Syed and his team. Thank you very much. The silver sponsors, 9 Sports. We've produced all of these lovely uniforms and the balls that we're using. Thanks to Ahmed Dar and his team. MyGo Consulting and Sishu. Thanks for being a silver sponsor. Promotion Physical Therapy, Paul and team, thank you very much. And Sports Nection, Dr. Omar out of Chicago, thank you very much for your support. And of course, collaborating partner, the American Cricket Academy and Club, ACAC. AJ Jam and all of his wonderful folk in this wonderful facility. And a big thank you to St. Louis for putting on some superb weather. And these wonderful pictures, the production crew, the broadcast crew, Studio 7 out of Chicago. This one I'm sure will be called wide by umpire Go Vasant. Thanks to the 4 umpires. Mateen Inamdar, Gov Vasant from Mexico, officiating the game that you're watching on screen, and the two on the other field, which I'm sure we'll see on screen at some stage, Chirag Vaswani and Mashir Laliwala. All four have done a superb job thus far. Big shot into the leg side. And he's got enough to clear the ropes yet again, has Saad Ali. So another maximum. That's 3 of them in the last 5 or 6 deliveries. So the Chicago Kings racing towards this target. They want to make sure that they've got time for a bit of a rest before their next match. It's just a big slog across the line, really. Nothing too wrong with the delivery. If anything, it was perhaps just a length that batters love to swing through the line of. But you get the feeling that both of these players are just going to be swinging at everything from here. See how quickly they can chase down 101 for victory. Only 27 further runs required. Could be done in the next couple of overs. Which means we'll also get to take a little break before the next game. Should be nice. St. Louis Americans continuing on their merry way. They're now 76 without loss. Oh, back of the hand, slower delivery. Cleverly bowled, actually, and he may get a wicket. No! The man running back attempting to take the catch. I think that's Omar. Not even sure he got a hand to it. And the end result is a boundary. Wow, that's unfortunate for Haroon. He's come in for his first over. Got pumped for 6 last ball. He's bowled what was quite a clever back of the hand slow ball, which Saad Ali has completely mishit. But the fielder was just unable to get under the ball, and in the end it's rolled away to the boundary. In fact, it's been called no ball as well to make matters worse. So this will be a free hit. Even if the catch had been taken, it wouldn't have counted. And Saad Ali looking to hit that free hit into the next county. Play and a miss. So no damage done, although damage has already been done really for the Pacers. The damage was pretty much done on the writing on the wall when they only managed to score 100 in the first innings. And if there was any doubt, the Kings have put it to bed really quickly in the second innings. Clipped off the pads this time. This will be another boundary. Still inside the power play, so there's just no protection, or very little protection in the deep. Drifting a little straighter on that occasion. And although there is a man backward a square on the leg side, he managed to avoid him pretty easily. As we see some of the players from the other sides that have already qualified for the semi-finals starting to show up. Perhaps scouting the opposition. Oh, another big shot. And another maximum. Boy, oh boy. This has all gone horribly pear-shaped for the Pacers. Of course, we thank them very, very much for coming all the way. In fact, it's a boundary 4 rather than a 6. Let's have a look. Just didn't quite see the end of that. Slower one again. And it will be another 4. Waited on it, did Saad Ali. And incredibly, he's just one run away from a half century at the end of the power play. So the power play's done. And quite incredibly, Chicago Kings need just 8 more for victory. 26 runs from that previous over. One that Haroon, I'm sure, would like to forget in a hurry. Ramiz Raja will be on strike for the start of the 7th. If he's any sort of teammate, he should be looking for a single to get Saad Ali on strike to see if he can bring up his half century. I would suggest that this will be the last over of the match. And a new bowler has come on to do the honours. The 6th bowler already used. Parth Patel bowled 1, got taken for 12. Ibrahim Khan went for 21 in his 2. Issa Omar went for 15 in his 1. Mohammad Talha 19 in his 1. And Haroon Nadeem 26 in the previous over. His solitary over to date. So Amir looks like an off spinner. Oh dear, and he's almost got a wicket first ball. How that's missed the stumps, I'm not sure. Amir Shahzad. Ramiz Raja looking to pump it away over the leg side field. Missed it completely. Short, pulled, that'll be 6. So he's not going to let his batting partner get a 50, it would seem. Just 2 more required. Surely he's going to tap this for a single and let his partner get a half century. Maybe they don't care about personal milestones. They just want to get the win as fast as possible. Move on to the semi-finals. So the Kings are certainly going to end up chasing this down faster than the St. Louis Americans, who are currently on a very similar score, 98 without loss. Oh dear. Big high full toss. He has tapped it for a single. Scores are equal, and Saad Ali could bring up a half century here. 1 required for victory, 1 required for his 50. Pretty good knock, you'd have to say. Offered a couple of half chances, or certainly one obvious chance that was put down at long on. And that'll be it, folks. The Chicago Kings advance to the semi-finals, courtesy of a 9-wicket victory over the Pacers. Took them only 6.4 overs to get there. Ramiz Raja Jr., 37 not out off 16 balls, and Saad Ali brings up his half century with that single to win the match. 50 not out off 19. And the Chicago Kings, well, it was basically a walk in the park for them. by winning the game so quickly, they've also ensured they get a decent rest before their semi-final. So comprehensive, you'd have to say. 9-wicket victory with 13.2 overs remaining. And the Pacers, made up of a squad of players from Sydney, Australia. We thank them very, very much for making the effort to come all this way to St. Louis in the United States. As we have a look at the scorecard, so just Ahmad Alam, the one player out, dismissed in the second over, out for 11, and then Ramiz Raja not out 37, Saad Ali not out 50. 3 extras, and they got there very, very quickly. Some glorious shots, some not so great fielding also assisted. You can see there all of the bowlers took an absolute hammering. Path Patel, 1 over for 12. Ibrahim Khan, the only one able to get through more than 1 over. He got 1 for 21 from 2. You'd have to say he was the pick of the bowlers. Isa Omar, none for 15 from 1. Muhammad Talha, none for 19 from 1. And poor old Haroon Nadeem, none for 26 from 1. And Amir Shazad bowled the final 4 deliveries, conceding 8. So there you have it. The Pacers, after having won the toss and electing to bat first, would have been very disappointed with their eventual total of 100 exactly for 7 wickets. And in the end, it proved to be nowhere near enough. Chicago Kings chasing it down very easily off 6.4 overs. We'll leave you there for now. We will come back later for the first of the semi-finals. We'll tell you who those 2 teams are going to be when we return in some time. For now, we'll take a break and we'll catch you later.